tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Woo! Dun, 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 dun. Let the creepiness begin, guys.
Let it soothe you. Let it creep inside you.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another Wayward Pines after show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Today, we're getting into episode 4. One of our senior realtors has chosen to retire. That is very hard and long to say, but hey,
you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
Best title of the season.
Kanika Lal. I know, the longest and the best. You can follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal. And of course, make sure to follow AFTERBUZZ on all the platforms. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud, and leave your comments and keep having great discussions with us. I am joined here by my 3 co-hosts for tonight.
Hey, I'm Michael Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Michael_Drew. That's Michael EAL.
And I am Alison Dean, filling in, and you can find me at the Alison Dean on all social media.
Hey.
Hey everybody, I'm Paige Bonanno, and you can follow me on Twitter at Paige Bonanno.
Cool. I just want to tell you guys, because we've been getting so many comments and tweets, I want to let you know that we do read every single one, and we love it. And we also have a new survey on podcast1.com where you can kind of tell us how we're doing to make, your viewing experience just as good as our hosting experience. You can tell us what to improve on and what you like, what you don't like. It's just, all around, it's good for us. So help us out. Go to podcast.1.com. It takes a few minutes to just take the survey. So we'd really appreciate that. So today's episode, I love because we are one away from the big reveal.
Right.
And we meet some new characters, which I think gives us a lot more backstory. And don't you guys feel like you thought you knew what was going on, but then as each episode keeps going, you're just like,
I don't think I thought I knew what was going on, but I didn't expect that next week would already... They're already saying that next week we're going to find out what's going to happen.
I thought
that was so fast.
Well,
but I mean, I guess I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I feel like that's halfway through the 5th episode, and then they'll be able to, give us a backstory, Wayward Pines, and then go into all the craziness that's give us half and half.
Well, I think that's kind of the way TV should be heading towards, just because people, instead of finding out the big answer in the end of the season, you're not waiting. You're not hanging on it for so long. Now you can just find out in the 5th episode, which I love halfway through the season.
Because then you have nowhere to go after if they just tell you in the last episode, and you're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
It's cool to be able to find out.
Alison's making a little face over here. What do you think?
I don't know. Just part of me thinks it's kind of like a ploy or something. I just think it's hard to believe that they're like, we're going to tell you everything in episode 5. And
I think it's that because it's a limited series. There's only 10 episodes, right? We don't know if there's going to be a second season.
We don't know yet.
So I think that's what it is. They're treating it like that. It's only one season, and if it does good, then maybe they'll bring it back. But I think after this season, it's going to be for this specific story arc.
Think of it as a movie. I mean, you get the beginning, you get a climax in the middle, and then you get the end. They might not tell us everything. We're going to have some things hidden, but yeah. Well, the point is we are one away, so we are excited for that. So I love in the beginning how we get a kind of a good family. No, it's not good because poor Teresa and Ben get this big welcome. Like Ben's shaken up, and Teresa's like, "Where the hell am I?"
They're all beat up.
It's good though that they're getting along. Like Teresa's understanding why Ethan went to Wayward Pines in the beginning, or was on this mission. Pretty much.
Yeah, at least she doesn't think that, like, okay, are you here to really
cheat on
me?
Exactly.
Right, and it seemed like she took it pretty well. Like, he didn't really have to explain that much. It was just kind of like, well, this is what's going on. She was like, all right, well, I felt like she really backed him up and stood behind him.
No,
she knew what she had to do. They had to pretend to be a happy family. And I also kind of want to point out one thing that he mentioned the hospital scene. About how he woke up in a hospital and about how they woke up in a hospital. And do you guys remember I believe it was the 2nd episode, if I'm not wrong, that he hallucinated that Teresa and Ben were on the hospital bed? Did we all confirm that that's pretty much...
No, that happened.
Not a hallucination?
It happened.
So that kind of shows that they're going back and forward in time, right?
Wait, when was the hallucination? The hallucination was in episode 1, was it? What was the hallucination? What episode was the hallucination in?
It might have been. It was 1 or 2, definitely.
It was after. It was after they came, wasn't it?
After Ethan.
It was after their car
No,
accident?
they were still outside. They were still looking for. I think it was episode.
I want to say 2.
Yeah, I want to say 2 or 3, but the.
It was definitely not last week.
No, I think it was the week
So it was
before.
1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then, towards that end of the scene, we get a normal person riding their bike in the middle of a.
Were they normal?
Right.
I don't think that was not normal.
Yeah.
Sarcasm,
Yeah, I was like, that was
It's not normal.
no.
And
That was creepy. That was
Nothing's
like
normal there
That was
anyways.
a strange man on a bicycle.
And Ben received pretty much a letter, like a Hogwarts
telegram.
letter, like, "Oh, come to
Right.
Hogwarts."
You're not to the academy.
It reminded me of Back to the Future.
It did?
Part
That's
2.
funny.
Remember
That's funny.
where the telegram comes to give it to Marty McFly?
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey,
like it.
this comes from you, from the doc back in the
Oh, right.
1800s." Remember?
Right.
That's what it felt like.
Interesting.
See,
I would not know.
It's all
I'm not
intertwined. It's all
Everything.
intertwined.
It's all
Back to the
intertwined.
Future.
It's back
Time
to the
warp,
Well,
yeah.
they kind of Well, we'll talk about the more predictions about the whole future thing, but
Sure.
that's definitely.
I've been saying
So
that.
great. Ben goes to a great school, and then we kind of see the next scene.
Is it
where
the only school? Or is
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that is the only
It
school
looks more
there.
like an FBI academy to me than
Well-
a
Or
like the
children's
Children of the
school.
Corn.
And we see in the preview for next week that they're training them. They're the special chosen ones. It's definitely an academy, like they say.
Yeah.
I mean,
Academy.
the mayor himself, Brad Fisher, said that the school is training the kids' minds.
Right.
For something. And of course, I think that the government and the Secret Service, or the government is more involved. Because that's why we didn't see Adam Hassler, but
Right.
Yeah.
it's some sort of experiment. I think we got a comment on YouTube about how this is a social experiment, and I think you're right, Mister. Yeah.
Between
Think
them and
you're-
aliens, right? Are we all aliens,
Alien,
guys?
I don't want to talk about aliens.
Are we all
I don't
saying
know aliens
aliens?
to do
No?
with this.
Okay.
I'm not on the
creatures.
aliens on the aliens train. Mm-mm.
So then we get Ethan being the sheriff, and I love that because now he is taking control and he can see what's really going down. What do you guys think of that? Welcome, sheriff. Let's eat some cake.
I liked how
Not ice cream, but cake.
Yeah, I know, right? I liked how he played along. How he
Yeah.
didn't just
Yeah.
jump in like, "Why am I the sheriff? Oh, I'm going to take all of you down." I like how
Right.
he's like, "You know what? I have to approach this in a different angle now."
Right.
And he's like,
Right.
"Okay, hey, I'm the sheriff. Okay, so all right, guys." Like he completely played along.
Yep.
He's like, he's going to try and get them from the inside now, which was smart.
And I love how everybody knows what happened to Sheriff Pope, but they all just say, "Oh, Sheriff
Yeah.
Pope retired." You know,
I
they're all.
know.
It's just a game. Like it's just playing along. Everybody in the newspaper. Oh, and the receptionist says, "Oh, he left and didn't even tell me." That's so rude. Like
What
it's funny. It's funny that they're like
They all know he was
retired.
eaten
Yeah.
by something.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
maybe
like
they
preacher.
don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't tell.
Well, they
maybe
know.
only Nurse Pam
Yeah,
knows.
they know.
Only the higher ups
They know because they'll just never see him around again. Like he's
I
just
know.
gonna hide out in his house.
They don't know, maybe.
And obviously his
I don't know.
house will get assigned to someone else. Like
Yeah,
it really
right.
did.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So they've got to know. They just all play along. They play their little game and
I don't know
go
how
on
they
their
can
merry
just
way.
pretend that Pope retired or
Because they
Pope
don't want
left.
to
Because they don't want a
die.
reckoning.
They don't want to be reckoned.
They don't want.
I
They don't want the
know.
reckoning to happen to them.
They don't want that reckoning.
But when the receptionist was talking in the bar and about, "Oh, I can't believe he left me," like, she was in love with
She seemed
Yeah.
very, but she seemed very honest. I
She was
believed
talking
her.
about the past. She
Exactly.
should have been reckoned.
Well, that's another thing.
Well,
is-
interesting, yeah.
Right. Well, when Burke got assigned as sheriff, I mean, then he was having people in the office and he was talking about the past with them. Like now he talks about the past constantly.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, well, where'd you live before and what did you do and
Exactly.
everything." So,
And he
They're
found all
letting him
those
get away with
files.
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. In the files, he talks about.
How do you find
the
the files? I missed that.
So pretty
Did he
much,
have
he was
Under
just
the floor.
roaming around in the office trying to take up the role as a sheriff, and he
heard a squeak in the floor.
I think he stepped like what you usually do. You step
Yeah.
something that's a little bit, not right,
little off
not
kilter.
even.
Yeah.
So he opened it, and I don't know. You thought there was gonna be ice cream in there,
I did say that. It looked like a refrigerator.
which was a good
It
prediction.
did look like a fridge.
That would be
Let me
legit.
just store my ice cream
Like, one
locked up
raisin.
underneath me.
Raisin, strawberry.
Yeah, like, oh, this guy. The whole stash.
Whole stash. And yeah, he found some files of which that's where he confirmed. Okay, this is the mayor.
How
and-
nice were those files too?
Oh my God, they were so futuristic. Weren't they? So high tech looking.
Uh-huh. They
Yeah,
were like
why-
engraved. It looked, I don't know.
Yeah, I find it crazy, though,
did.
that they would leave all that stuff there. If they knew he's going to be the new sheriff,
That's
why
it.
would they leave all that stuff there?
Exactly. I want him to know. I don't know.
Well, because he showed the picture of the guy's family that was doing
Yeah.
graffiti. He showed it right to him, and you can obviously tell he got emotional about it and then went back. But he's showing the pictures. He's talking about the past. So it's just weird that they're like letting him do this.
There's something about him.
There's an ulterior motive at play that we're not aware of yet, because for sure they know he's not going to suddenly
Yeah.
lose sight of the fact that he wants to get the hell out of town.
Right, well, they put him as sheriff for a reason.
Well, here's the thing. They are kind of controlling him without actually controlling him. I mean, they knew right away that Peter is going to die. No
Right.
matter what Ethan says, there is going to be a way. And this leads us to the next scene where Ben is trying to get adjusted into school. And it's Mrs. Fisher, who we meet is played by Hope Davis, who is also a really good actress, by the way. She kind of reminds, I'm not sure.
Like young Nurse Pam.
I was just...
Thank you.
Always take the words out of my mouth, Michael.
Dang.
Always does that. I don't know how he does that. Yeah, she is a different version of Nurse Pam. But she is trying to win Ben's approval. What did you think of Ben and Mrs. Fisher's interaction?
I thought he was messing up for the fam. I thought he was really messing
come on,
up.
Ben.
Where do you live? Seattle. Where's your home? Seattle. I'm like, fail, Ben. What did your parents just tell you like 10 minutes ago?
Oh, yeah, didn't they prep him to like, hey, listen.
Hey, play along, son. Play. Yeah, I was like, wow, you're not doing so well.
You know the thing about Ben is that I always notice? He always seems annoyed. You know, like every time the parent tells him, like, I know, Mom.
Puberty.
Well, he's like a teenager.
I know, but he's like...
And that's why I feel like, too, like, they told him, but he doesn't, he's at the point where he's rebelling against his parents, you know, he's like, this is where I'm from, this is what my roots are, you know, I'm gonna stick to it, and...
Yeah, but he had just seen, like, the sheriff of the town be pummeled over and taken by wolves.
He's the one that pummeled him.
Yeah, exactly, right.
So, but in that respect, it's like, you're not, you know in Kansas anymore. Like, play along.
Things have just got real.
Yeah, they got real strange real fast.
Yeah.
So, I'd say in
they
this
are
case,
showing the vulnerability. I can't say the word vulnerability of youngsters.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Well, because okay.
I don't believe it because I truly the kid is not
Maybe
an idiot.
if you were Ben's age and Mrs. Fisher was like drilling you, maybe you would get a little influence, and especially if you were gifted a guitar like Mrs. Fisher gave
I 100%
Ben.
agree with that. I mean,
You would be a little
kids
like,
are so influenced so easily.
No, I think Ben just might. I think we just thought Ben was smarter than he was. I think Ben just might be a dum dum. Only reason I'm saying that is because like
We overestimated.
That's the word I was
We're
looking for.
analyzing Ben just a little bit, but just want to make a last point here before we move on from Ben, is that he has been through hell. I mean, his father cheated on his mother. Here he is not knowing where he lives, and now he has to adjust to Wayward Pines, and he doesn't have any friends around him.
He already doesn't trust his dad. And after the fact that
she's using that
she's
weakness.
using it as a way to manipulate him.
Yeah.
But his father you guys just committed dual murder, and a body got eaten by animals. So I don't think you can go into this school and be like, well, maybe my dad does it. Maybe something else is going on. Like, you just saw it. Like you just said, we're not in Kansas anymore. Things just got crazy, and you witnessed it.
But why do you think Mrs. Fisher is steering Ben away?
She's a hypnotist.
Yeah.
No, but what's her motive? What's her motive
Start with the kid. You see, I think they're just using the parents to get the kids, and then the kids will be the new society.
Ben to turn against the father.
Well, I don't think she necessarily wants him to turn against the father. I just feel like she wants to manipulate him in every way just to make him see that Wayward, and that's just a way to get him to do it. Because I'm thinking that Wayward Pines is your new home. This is the place you're gonna act the way we want you to.
If he stays rooted there, so if they can manipulate Ben enough to want him to stay, then the parents will have to stay also. If they can't get their son out, they're not going to leave.
That's true, and that's why Teresa got a job, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Let's talk about the graffiti that Peter defaced. You guys have that exact line. Why don't you say that?
Let's see. In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary action.
In a time of evolutionary deceit, there's revolutionary action, right?
Sure.
That's pretty strong.
Revolutionary?
I don't know. I just heard act. I just heard.
In a time of evolutionary deceit, the act of telling the truth is a revolutionary action.
Well, it's not something he just randomly.
We should have written this down. But
you haven't thought about it. It's intense.
It is a very philosophical.
Because they're manipulating any sort of change in society. It's a very controlled environment. So there really is controlled evolution essentially.
Yeah.
But anytime you react against that, they create revolutionary actions behind that. So they're
okay. Damn.
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh, hey. You just fooled me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, let me clarify.
Peter's
for a moment.
character likes philosophy. He even, poetry. He quoted Robert Frost later on in the show, so it's interesting.
Then committed suicide.
But yeah.
So sad.
Yeah. Well, he said this is the only way out.
Yeah.
Wayward Pines. So. So Teresa was the one who kind of saw that, and I love this scene. I'm not sure about you guys, but the scene of Teresa and Kate in the toy shop.
Oh, it was great.
The way they saw one another was really good.
I just love the quick, like, you have 30 seconds to tell me, and she turned the music on, which, by the way, it happens to be creepy music.
I know, but I thought, like, she was going to use that 30 seconds to ask her, I thought she was going to ask her some important stuff.
About Wayward Pines.
She just complains.
It won't be the last opportunity that they get down and dirty.
Like, we're stuck in a town where everyone's prisoners. You cheated with me. You stole my husband, and I hate you.
She still is not over it, and, like, I mean, she still has to. That's the first thing she needs to get off her chest before anything else. Just be like, you hurt me. All right, now we can move on and just,
But she kind of throw it in her face. She goes that I chose family over being an agent, and she said Ethan didn't, and you hurt my family. That's enough than saying,
yeah.
Beach.
Did she say that she was an agent also?
Beach,
yes.
not.
She chose, right?
She was training to be an agent, and then she decided to get out of it to raise her family.
This is interesting.
That is interesting. We get some backstory on Teresa, right?
Because I think that it's going to play into how they're able to get out of that town.
That's right. I didn't know that. Like, when she said that really shocked me. I didn't know she was just
right.
Because obviously she has some training too, and she's not just a little, the wife that's standing by and can't defend herself.
It makes sense now.
Are you going to say because it explains with the computer hack?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Stop it.
No, but like it makes sense because before we were just like, look at this random housewife.
Housewife. Yep. And now she's like, I'm gonna go find him, and then like she just found him, and it's like, how did you have?
It all makes sense.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
If I were to set out to find somebody, I'd be like, I don't even know where I'm going. Like,
should I go? Whatever.
Whatever. I'm turning around.
I'll email him if he doesn't respond. Time to move on.
Well, I love that scene. I love the two powerful women coming in contact. And then we meet another character. We meet Sarah Jeffrey, who plays Amy on the show. I think she's adorable. I think she's so cute. What do you guys think?
Sweet. Yeah, she seems like a little...
Oh, the teenage love interest?
She seems like a good friend for Ben. She might be...
No, I think she's an ultimate manipulator is what I think.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Hell
you
yes.
can't trust
I agree.
anyone.
She
trust
seems
her.
like a sweet
little girl.
She is planted to manipulate the hell out of him to get him to even more fall in love with Wayward Pines.
Because nothing
now I got a girlfriend, now I'm in school, now I got a guitar, I gotta
stop ruining the fantasy.
Think about her timing when she came up.
Oh no, it's
right
creepy.
when he was in the...
Creepy.
Exactly.
It's all creepy. And asking questions, so you must be really popular in Seattle and have a girlfriend.
I know, that's very... Get them gassed up.
Oh, yeah, getting gassed up. And that's what it is.
Throwing the rocks at the window, trying to hide behind, like, I'm here.
Okay, guys.
So cute.
Kanika was all about that.
She's a manipulator.
Allison, I agree.
Look.
But she's a cutie.
She's a cute manipulator.
Look, wait, hold on. Teenage boys. What gets a teenage boy? A teenage boy who's hormones going crazy, insecure.
Okay, that gets all boys and men of all ages.
But that's how they get
I did appreciate it when he just hugged her and on that bench. She was like, "Let me just embrace you."
Like, what was like, seriously? How old is this?
I know.
Like, he can't give her a kiss.
They're in high school. She gets kissed on the cheek. Like, oh hey, like this isn't middle. This ain't elementary school.
Right.
But you're tongue in her throat, man. No.
Well, I don't know. I have a different opinion. I think that she might help him. She was kind of giving him tips like, this is, you can't talk about the past and Wayward Pines, and this is how, okay.
I guess we have to find out a little bit more about her backstory, though, to figure out if she was there since she was little.
I want to shout out to someone who, I'm sorry, I should write down your names, but someone did predict in our comments that the girl from the preview from the last episode, which is this girl Amy, she could be Beverly's daughter.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit too much of a stretch, but we are going to see Beverly's daughter appear maybe because Ethan did promise Beverly's dead body that I'll find your daughter.
Well, and she was the one person in the whole crowd that came up and put a flower. So I mean, I can definitely see that.
That was a different girl.
Oh, that was
a younger girl.
Oh, okay.
Someone also did predict that the girl giving the flower could have been
That's what I was
Beverly's
thinking.
daughter.
Okay, I see now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be either one, but
you don't know who these
he has all the files now, though.
Are all connected.
He may.
So he'll be able to figure it out.
He should have done that right away. Maybe he'll do that in the next couple episodes. Yeah. So we will continue to see what is up with this Amy. I like her, but these three don't. Amy? So we'll see.
I didn't say I didn't like her. I just said she was a manipulator.
Yeah, don't trust her.
Okay, they don't trust her. I don't think that you can like and also not trust someone at the same time. But maybe you can. Girls. Actually,
there's jolly people that you can't trust.
You
sure.
can. That's another topic we can get into later. Who can you trust in
Wayward Pines? If you can't trust Kate, who can you trust? Right, it's Kate, right?
Yeah,
you can trust Beverly.
Well, and Beverly dead. And Beverly's dead.
Trust Beverly.
I didn't trust, but you're right. I didn't trust Beverly.
Yeah, you didn't.
Then we get this intense, of course, and every scene is intense. I can't even use that adjective anymore. But Peter and Ethan are sitting, they're talking, and pretty much Ethan gets a phone call from none other than Nurse Pam and saying the reckoning needs to happen at 10 p.m. sharp.
And what did he say? He said, telemarketers.
Telemarketers. I like that. That was funny.
You know how it is.
You know.
You know how
like
it is.
telemarketers are calling in.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I want to kind of get into, just skip over a little bit and talk about Peter's past, because it's a very interesting story. What do you guys think about that story, about how he met this brunette at the bar and he passed out, and then he ended up in a hotel in Wayward Pines? And that makes me question, why is it that he was called to Wayward Pines? It's because
he was an adulterer.
It was, but so was Ethan.
Exactly.
So now are they calling in these people
Kate's an adulterer
who have done bad, and that's why they're trying to get rid of it?
They're trying to reform the adulterers of the world.
Maybe they're trying to punish them. Maybe the person who's in charge of all of this is just someone who got cheated on, and they're so pissed.
Hell yeah, it could be. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
You never know.
And we're gonna experiment in society with our manifested beasts and make them attack adulterers.
It could be. I mean, hey.
That's crazy. I mean, I like how that moment of silence, like,
No, think about it. It could be because they're so wanting everyone to forget their past, just forget the misery and not do that again. And if you do something that's as close to, okay, how am I going to make sense of this? If you do something as bad as it is committing that act of crime as it is telling the past, then you should just be killed off. You're hindering the process of
the evolutionary advancement,
exactly,
or whatever.
No, that's pretty good. Okay,
you know what I mean. So that's one thing we should.
Bad, and that's why they can't remember the past, because the past they've done wrong in the past, and they're trying to move on and become better people. Right?
Well, back to that encounter that Peter had in the bar, with the girl, he took her back to her hotel room. You originally thought that when they ended up in Wayward Pines that it was Pam, and you said that you thought it is completely different.
They got someone out there.
So what do we think is going on there?
I think he was just trying to say, oh, I saw it on the brunette, which happened to be Pam.
No, I don't think it was. You think it was Pam that he slept with?
No, he's saying that it wasn't. I did see the same brunette. I saw a brunette, but it wasn't the same brunette. It was Pam. Right. He was just trying to say that. I don't think it was.
I kind of thought that could be true because of the crazy timelines. I'm like, you never know if she did just get older or what.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Touche.
Yeah.
And Pam does seem promiscuous. The way
oh my god, that scene where she like turns around with her model shot.
Lord.
The mouth on her, like when she really gets into it, and she's like, "Did you bang your wife?" What was that thing she said before?
Did you bang your brains out?
Bang your wife's brains out. Like, oh, that wouldn't shock me if she's on there picking up adulterers in bars.
Yeah,
and bringing them to her little.
Her level of power is definitely. We don't quite know yet how deep her power goes, because it's strange.
She might be power hungry.
Well, but I think she has her hands in more stuff than she's not just the nurse.
Oh no! Obviously, she made that clear when Ethan was leaving, and she said, "Oh, thanks. Now this is my town." Like she said, it was always her town. Yeah. So obviously, it's not like she's just a nurse. But I think got a lot more power than
she has direct communication with whoever is really at the helm of all this.
I think she could,
but she doesn't have enough power as the one who does.
She could be a favorite.
She's also one of those manipulators where it's like...
she's not a favorite. Ethan's a favorite. That's why he got a third chance, as Nurse Pam made it as she told him, right?
Well, maybe Nurse Pam was like that before, and she was like an original Ethan, and then she got promoted. And that's why she clearly she has like you said, she has hands in pots.
Yeah, she has her hands in some weird.
But doesn't everyone kind of?
Not like Nurse Pam.
Like Kate
Nurse Pam's a receptionist. She's a nurse. She's picking up strays and bringing them to Wayward Pines. I don't know. She's something. She's something there.
That's true. No, you have a good point.
She's sleeping with people randomly.
Yeah.
Not her.
Oh yeah.
Well, she might be.
Let's not.
Goodbye.
Okay, and then we get the dinner scene. Well, first we get there because Ethan finds out that the mayor, Brad Fisher, is the husband of Mrs. Fisher, who is Ben's teacher. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to crack Brad Fisher, which leads Teresa to inviting Mrs. Fisher over for dinner. Mm-hmm. And I kind of also want to just go back to that shower scene. It's just so interesting how they're all kind of learning about how to get around and learning how to communicate now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like turn the water on.
Turn the water on. Turn the music on.
Let me whisper in your ear directly.
Yeah.
That'd be great if it turns out like the water doesn't even do anything. You're like, hey, you know we've heard everything you've been saying.
Right?
Right.
Like,
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, do they really think?
Does it really work? I know.
I
They're
can
like,
still
we
hear
already
you.
knew about that shit.
That was an intense powerful shower, though.
Huh?
I don't think they
good.
could have heard over that shower. That was intense.
It looked like a
Yeah.
good shower to
Nice
take a shower in.
Yeah.
There's one in the shower.
Ethan-
There's a microphone. I mean, there's like.
Yeah, true.
Excuse me, what?
Ethan, sorry for all you listening to that. Ethan did mention to Teresa though that the ones who get killed off, then you take the place of the ones who get killed off, and that was foreshadowing Peter's death because then Teresa took his position.
Well, she hasn't taken it yet, but she's been assigned it.
Oh please, she's gonna take that position.
I got a question. When she got the letter, was that the same night that did he die yet?
Yeah,
we're going to
same.
talk about that, but it was right before he killed himself.
Oh, it was right before. Okay.
Because that's what I'm saying. They knew all along that not Justin Kirk, Peter was going to get killed. I mean, it's inevitable.
Regardless of if Ethan did it or not.
It was going to be at 10 o'clock no matter what. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then we get the dinner scene, and I loved how Ethan was just blunt. He subtly brought in like, oh yeah, I love Wayward Pines. You know, everyone just has fear in their
He was like, I love
eyes.
the fear. The fear in everyone's
And
eyes.
he's like, do you want some wine?
Like, yeah. Like, we're going to need some.
I love how Mrs. Fisher is so headstrong. She's like, no, follow the rules. But her husband, the mayor, surprisingly, the mayor is being a little bit more free in telling
I
Ethan.
didn't even want to marry her. He's probably hypnoptized into it.
I'm with you on that.
Like
Marry
women
me,
do. You know what I'm
love
saying,
me.
guys? No.
Oh!
But like, it freaking,
no.
Well, I feel like the mayor can be a little bit more open with Ethan just because the mayor has more power and he obviously knows more about the powers that be than most of the people in the town.
But why is the mayor helping him?
We don't know how long he's been mayor, though. So it could be that he's also maybe more of a newbie, and so he's less brainwashed.
It could be
Either way,
because you're
on the
right.
timeline, though.
That's a true point because Nurse Pam has definitely been there a long
She's been
time,
there.
and
She was a kid there. I don't even know. She
I know, right?
grew up there.
she was a kid.
Yeah. She was the
She played
first,
hopscotch.
She was-
She was the first Wayward Pines.
She was the first child in Wayward Pines. I don't know.
Could be.
She was just wayward. I don't know. That was terrible. Sorry,
There was no
guys.
pines yet.
That was,
She real old.
Pines? No.
So he pretty much warns Ethan to just be careful of his wife. You know, be careful of it. I think Ethan should have a long talk with Ben and say, do not get so hypnotized by Mrs. Fisher. I mean, do not get so pulled in by what they tell you.
Well, she
They're
gave her
gonna
a warning right there at dinner. She said, you know, being a teacher is a lot like being
Yeah.
the sheriff. You know, there's consequences
Right.
of the behaviors. So, I mean, she laid it out right there for them.
She did.
She's one to watch.
Go completely.
Maybe the mayor is just okay. Well, clearly they marry people they don't want to marry, right? It's like arranged marriages, I'm guessing, right?
Ish.
That's a
I
good
would
point.
I would
It
think
is
that it's
arranged marriages.
So he was probably just put in this situation. He's like, hey, it's my happy wife. Whatever you guys gave me, I'm happy. But probably in the back of his mind, maybe he doesn't want to be there. Now with Burke, he's like, okay, listen. He's giving him little clues because he secretly wants to get out. And she's baby Nurse Pam over here, freaking.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have extremes in Wayward Pines. We have people like Nurse Pam, who is so for Wayward Pines, but then we have people like Beverly and Mayor Brad Fisher, who are trying to find anyone they can to use them to fix the city and get out of the city. You know what I mean?
Do you think the mayor's on the level of like Beverly, where they're ready to escape?
I don't think so.
I think it's hard to say at this point. I think
Yeah.
we need a little bit more.
Just need to convince him more. That's all.
Some more wine.
Yeah.
You know,
More
more drinks.
A
Let's
strategic
climb the wall. Yeah.
a strategic plan, you know. I mean,
Right.
as Ethan's responsibility in Wayward Pines, he needs to find a way to get everyone out safely.
I just feel like
that's
the spouse thing
hurdle.
is a really interesting issue because we don't know anything about anybody's spouses. I mean, Ethan's spouse came in. I wonder if that could have happened with anybody else down the road or something like that. You know, it's just like, I feel like I want to know more about the spouse situations, like how they get paired and why they get paired together.
That's a good point.
If we could
No,
find
it is a
anything
good
with
point. They
that.
haven't really clarified that.
Exactly. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Because
But
it's not improbable that there could be another set or another couple there that one person came in and then they brought the other person in purposely because that person was creating conflict. It could have been a similar situation to Ethan.
I feel like Ethan's situation is very unique, but it's not ruled out. You know, we don't know how long this town's even been there or how many people are in it. You know,
or
it's
how
a
many people have been
possibility.
eaten. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will find out, which is why I love this, and I'm going to keep watching until I find out. And then we get that last scene where Nurse Pam is just like cheering to the sheriff. in a very forceful way.
Yeah.
She's like,
she got really into
yeah,
it.
Sheriff. I know.
She got really when he jumped up and jumped in, and she's like, yes, like she got
Well, she wanted to make it publicly known to everybody there what he was supposed to do. You know.
Yeah, it could have been a plot. A power move by her just to make sure, like, you gotta
definitely.
You better
start
step up.
slicing necks.
You better.
She's threatening him basically that if you don't follow this, you know, it's gonna happen to you.
He's just gonna kill her one day. He's like,
gonna get
see
it.
you later.
Oh my god, I'm so looking forward to that episode when he kills her.
She's gonna get eaten by those creatures.
I mean, when, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but if. I mean, I think it's gonna be so...
When they finally go at each other because they hate each other so much.
Exactly, it's...
Yeah, he's gonna get real tired of her. He already is. I mean, he would have killed her that day in the hospital when she was chasing after him.
I know. He did try to take her out.
Hell yeah. He's over her. Like, get out of my way. You are annoying.
No, seriously.
Although she's a fantastic actress, and
She
I think
is.
she's doing a fine job.
She is.
She
does a good job of being creepy, that's for sure.
And every scene, she knows how to make the scene.
Creepy factor.
Before we get to Peter's suicide, we see the doctor very quickly in the forest. He's like no help at all.
He's just chilling in the forest. I'm just looking at my species.
Yeah, they just
like
walked
at
up to him?
night.
No, he's not.
They
He's
just
doing some
approached
weird shit out there. He is.
No, they approach him. He's looking for some species for his, I don't even know, his new garden. I was just annoyed by his face at that scene.
I think he's
just
so
because
cute.
he was no help. Yeah.
He's like burying people's ashes in those trees or something.
The
Proper
biggest
and sweet.
actions are the biggest sacrifices, something he said of that sort.
Everyone speaks in clues.
They do. With great power comes great responsibility. With great actions, revolutionaries.
That's another thing. They dropped the Spider-Man line.
You're like, does anyone use that?
Does everyone use this line now? Like, ever since the Spider-Man movie came out, like, everyone uses that damn
It's
line.
a very correct, true line, though, guys.
Kudos to Stan Lee for that.
Kudos to Stan Lee,
Kudos
indeed.
to Stan Lee. All right.
So yeah, he's no help, and then we get this interesting kind of sad. I'm sure it was very sad for Ethan to see Peter kind of just throw himself on the fence.
But at the same time, I think what he did was smart in saying, you know, I gotta go, so either you can do this and make yourself look like you're blending in, or I can do it, but it's gonna go down. And so I think he was trying to paint the picture, you know. I'm sure Peter felt this like last pinch of love from someone, you know, because really Ethan didn't want to kill him, and so I feel like he felt like vindicated on some level, like humanity was still alive.
He wanted to help Ethan because he was helping him.
Kind of, I think so.
And he said again that this is why we need you, Ethan. You know, we hear that from the doctor, and now we're hearing that from Peter. Why is Ethan so needed? You know, that just raises
He's
a
gonna
bit.
turn the tables on Wayward Pines.
But then I don't know if Wayward Pines wants that to happen.
Maybe there's someone on the inside who's at the top of Wayward Pines.
Well, there is a top, yeah.
But maybe there's like 4 people at the top, and one of the guys wants Ethan to save Wayward Pines.
We're having like
to
a
stop
debate
it.
about Ethan.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I mean, that's
it's
interesting.
strange.
That's like, that's definitely an interesting point.
I think there's something going on with those planting hybrid pine trees too. Let me just say that. I don't know what it is. Something's going on.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a clue.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was a clue that they're doing that with human beings, and that's probably what those monsters are. They're probably mutated humans, which I don't like, to be honest with you.
I don't like that either. But right before Peter does kill himself, that's when we get the letter in the mailbox. Yeah.
I didn't even know the fences was electric.
Oh yeah. They
See, what I thought was that they were gonna
on the first or second episode.
I thought they were gonna open the door and throw him to the
creatures.
The creatures, right? That's what I thought was gonna happen. Then he got electrocuted all of a sudden. We were all like,
I was like, oh, okay.
I didn't think he was gonna throw him to the creatures. I thought he might just shoot him or something, or like slit his throat, or no, like shoot him, something like very painless. Because I didn't feel like Ethan would subject him to any sort of brutality or unnecessary brutality. So I was thinking maybe just like a quick,
a simple shot that would have been a lot less painful than being electrocuted that long.
Well, there's a lot of electricity,
and that's
through
huge,
that.
yeah.
I don't know. It could have been pretty much like done. He didn't look like he was like shaking like crazy. It looked like he was like touch done, like
But
and gone.
Yeah, all the death scenes here are kind of. The death scenes here haven't been too great, only because
Has someone died in every episode? Yes, right?
Yeah.
Not excluding the first episode. Yeah, every episode since. So we have another R.I.P.
Yeah, when the sheriff died, that was an okay death scene. But when they slit Beverly's throat, they
Actually,
barely.
Sheriff's death was cool.
Yeah, they barely touched her neck. It's like they slit her like her shoulder, like and then next thing you know, she has like a huge gash. I'm like, what the hell happened?
And also, Peter did mention though he actually liked Wayward Pines at first.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did.
He did
to
say
create,
that.
to create a new reality for himself. It was like,
After he
because he
messed
was
up.
bad in his
Yeah,
He
so
was
that was
bad
actually
boy.
interesting about how he turned negative against Wayward Pines, which makes you question, what if Ethan turns positive about the town? That could possibly happen. That's going
Right.
to lead into my prediction I have, which stay tuned because I have an interesting one. But then we get the Harry Potter letter for Teresa. She's going to take that job.
The
The Harry Potter letter.
Congratulations, you've been accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Into Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to like her new job, and I think...
It's funny how
I
you have a
think-
realtor when they assign people houses.
I know, right?
And then the last scene, because Peter did point out the mountain to Ethan, in which he faced Nurse Pam at first, and he had the gun and the backpack, and he was like, had the little kind of a sexual scene. They were so close up to each other, and I was like, oh, they're gonna make out right now.
Yeah.
And she, takes the desk. She felt very comfortable there. We don't know if that just was something that she
No,
wanted
I think
to
she's taking
do.
over. I think she's taking over,
Really?
Sheriff. Well, I mean, yeah, I think she saw it, or maybe he'll come back next episode and be like, I'm back.
No, I don't think it's in her jurisdiction to take the job as sheriff. I think that has to be.
That's true.
I don't know.
I agree,
don't see
because
it.
everything's coming from
Yeah.
above. It's
Yeah,
not their
and the
choice.
above one's
It's not
Ethan.
their choice.
Unless she is the above one.
It's possible.
be.
Hey,
Everybody.
Hey, it could be.
So let's talk about that annoying creature we saw in the end. Annoying just because we
don't know
really
what it
like
is.
creatures, but meaning whatever. What do you think that was?
A vampire.
Well, he definitely looked like he had human form. It wasn't like it was an ant.
Because he has two legs.
Exactly. It didn't seem like a little animal. Like, it seemed like a human that was like you said, mutated or
I need to see his teeth
messed up. Yeah.
to know what's going on.
I'm
His
not too
teeth. He
needs his
excited
teeth.
about. It's
Yeah.
like
And
everything.
his
like it all can be in. It's all in the.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm not excited about this creature.
And the
I'm just
eyes,
gonna
if they're
know.
Yeah.
like red or, those crazy.
It's some
Yeah.
cave dwelling organism that, or seemingly it should belong in a cave.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's it's one of the creatures. Is one of the many creatures that ate the sheriff.
There's many.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing. I don't think that's the only one. I don't think that was the same one.
Oh
No, I think
there's
it's
many.
filled with those
Yeah.
out there. Whatever
yeah.
those are, that's what it is outside of Wayward Pines.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Sheriff Pope is now one of those. I wonder if when
That's
they
what I was
die-
thinking. That
Oh,
the
when they
humans,
die, they become
creatures.
the craziest,
That
yeah.
is what I was thinking. But before we get into the predictions, which we all are excited to talk about, I want to say I'm extremely jealous because they are showing the 5th episode right now at ATX. It's a festival in Austin. So all of Wayward Pines is there right now, and they're revealing the 5th episode. So for those of you who are there,
Don't tell us what happened.
don't tell us. But I am highly jealous
Just-
and also.
They should just made it a
really
2-hour
excited.
episode tonight. Then
I know, right? If they get to see it, why not us? But I'm excited about the next episode. Now let's get into predictions.
And now, your
I said like
AfterBuzz
14.
TV.
Oh,
I know we already said all of them.
I know we did, but let's just do one more. What do you think is the big reveal?
my prediction was right last week, right?
Yeah, ours. Yeah.
No, it was mine.
What was
right?
your prediction last week?
Well, I kind of said it too.
I said he's gonna become the sheriff.
I
think
feel
it was
like
me.
I feel like the audience needs to tell us what we actually said.
Let's watch last week's episode.
Yeah,
and see who
I
it
mean,
was.
I am going to watch last week's episode right after
Good,
this.
and then
but
tweet everyone and tell us what the real answer was.
I'm just saying,
and
if
be
it was
honest.
me, I deserve some credit.
Watch,
That's
it
all
was
I'm
like
saying.
it was totally not you.
I know.
Watch.
I
won't
think
say
it
anything.
was. No, I'm just gonna joke.
I'm pretty sure it was
I'll
me.
let you have it, but then when we watch the episode, then we'll know who really. I'm just joking, but let's see predictions. Okay, you give a good one this time then again.
I gotta recalibrate right now, ladies.
All right.
You first.
I'll just recap because I'll go with the ones I said. So I think that we may. I should have checked IMDb before I say this, but whatever. I'll go with it. I think we may have a bye-bye Pam situation, or I think Ethan's gonna try strongly to get her out of the picture, and perhaps the dead folks become those strange creatures.
Okay.
I think maybe. I think that's possible.
I agree with that one.
I like the dead folks.
Right? That's
Prediction. I think
kinda
that's a
creepy.
good one. But I don't think that Pam's gonna be gone in the next episode. I don't think there's any way. Like, I feel like since Ethan's trying to embark on this journey to figure out what everything is, like, now Pam sat in the chair, I feel like she might take on the role as a sheriff for a couple episodes, maybe. Who knows? I don't think Pam's gonna be done yet, for sure.
She definitely she elevates conflict for sure. She does.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be in the end, not in the end, but there's gonna be a battle between Pam and Ethan at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And We'll see what that is.
Pam and Ethan Burke.
I don't know about those creatures, to be honest.
I know.
me neither.
It's very hard to.
They remind me of a horror movie I saw,
But
for
I
sure.
do predict that they're everywhere and they're all over. It's not just, it's...
They're in another
That's what they're
walled
trying to protect
environment.
themselves from, yeah.
Okay.
Strange.
And me? Am I going up? Mm-hmm. Okay, I predict that they're going to, considering how next week everything's revealed, so they're going to start fighting and all that. I think, Sheriff Burke, Agent Burke is going to find a way. They're going to come out. Everything looks like it's going to be good, but then their son is going to choose Wayward Pines over his father.
That's possible, for sure.
Well,
Now that he has a
Did you
girlfriend.
like that?
Well, I was actually going to say.
Too late.
I have 3 predictions. One of them is that, yes, the wife and the son are going to start liking Wayward Pines. They're going to start getting adjusted into it.
The wife, too?
Yeah, the wife, too, because of her new job. And
It has benefits.
it has dental and health benefits. Come on, people. And it's going to leave Ethan stranded as to what I should do. The second prediction I have is that Chad Hodge, the showrunner of the show, he said in an interview with Variety that the person who is in charge of building Wayward Pines, we already saw him in the first episode. So I kind of skimmed through the first episode and I was like, okay, it really could be anyone because we've seen everyone in the first episode. But it could be Hassler.
Or Ethan.
What about Dr. Jenkins?
Okay, don't lead into my third prediction,
that was
which
the third
is
prediction?
it could be Ethan himself, who is a mayor and who is the one handling everything because it's his future self.
Which would make sense why they needed him to come back and come into Wayward Pines.
Yeah, that's kind of my other.
That's a good one.
Damn,
That's
man,
creative.
That's crazy.
I had never thought about
That's
that.
crazy. If it's Burks himself, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Although I do really wonder how Ethan's wife is going to stand to look at, what's her face? Kate. Yeah,
That's a good point. Let's see what happens with that. That's a good point.
I think that's because she hate her. She's not so much a fan of the Kate. And even though Kate's obviously in her new life and has a hubby and all that jazz, and
I kind of have a feeling that Kate and Teresa are gonna pair up together and fight together.
they're gonna be agents of crime.
They could come together on it.
They're gonna kill Pam.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. That'd be so great.
That's a good
Gang
point.
up on her. I don't know. I feel like she said what she needed to say, and I could definitely see them pairing up and doing the forces of the forces of good.
Yeah,
Against the forces of evil.
Against the forces of evil together.
I like it.
What if they are against future Ethan and both of the women actually want to kill him?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's not get too far.
I just hope it doesn't get too confusing to the point that when
Yeah,
there
I
is a big
know.
reveal, we're just like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not something
I don't
like
think
that.
so. I think no one's guessed it yet. That's what they said, Blake and Chad, and that it's going to be something that's going to cover all the plot holes, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to hit you.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
We're very excited. Stay tuned for episode 5 next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning into tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed the recap with us. I'm your host, Kanika Lal. You can follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal, and of course, continue to follow AfterBuzz. We have so many after shows you guys can enjoy on YouTube, iTunes, and on SoundCloud. And as well, check out the survey on podcast1.com. And you lovely people.
Hey, it's Michael Andrew. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michael_Drew. That's Michael EAL.
And I'm Alison Dean. You can find me at the Alison Dean on all social media, and Monday nights for The Whispers and Tuesday nights for Unreal and Bloodline.
Hey.
Nice. And I'm Paige Bonanno, and you can follow me on social media at Paige Bonanno.
See you next week.
See you next
Cool.
time.
Thanks, everyone.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.